Hey, welcome to your Scorpio horoscopes for the week of July 23rd to July 29th. All kinds of craziness going on, and you guys just can't help but put your 2 cents into it. Well, maybe you want to not put your 2 cents into it, but the moon coming into your sign is just not gonna let you get away with not doing that. Unfortunately, it just is what it is. And we're gonna kick that off on what is this Tuesday, as the moon is moving into Scorpio, moving into a T square with Pluto and the sun at the same time, creating a bit of a challenge. Pardon me. The sun's focus is on career. Pluto's focus is on the home and changes that you'd like to make, but maybe can't make currently right now. And then we have the moon's focus on self. So I feel like this is you guys being torn between both places, if that makes sense. Like, torn between I got to be at work, I got to make money, I got to take care of my family, but I need to be home with my family, if that makes sense. Let me pause for just one second here. Now I got a tickle in my throat that won't go away, which must mean also if you're being put in this situation, it is really time to speak your truth. Use that throat chakra. Especially if this is a situation that you find yourself in over and over and over again, where it's like you're being pulled in both different directions and you're not getting any you time. This is what this really is all about. Now, the moon's sextile with the now retrograde Venus as well as Mercury is actually very helpful. Both planets focused on your support system. This is all about you. So, I mean, honestly, you're going to have the support that you need to be able to get you through this big challenge here. That's basically what that means, which is really good. As we move into Wednesday, the moon's opposition with Jupiter and Uranus is a challenge because now we're moving into focusing on the past, specifically who we were in the past. And those two planets are focused on finances and personal growth. So, a couple of things here that this could do. One, you're looking at maybe a financial a bill that comes up that takes a chunk of your money away, or something to where you've been working towards a goal and then something comes up and you got to take a few steps back in that goal and kind of start over a little bit, which is very frustrating. Everybody gets frustrated at something like that. However, at the same time, this doesn't stunt your growth completely, because the moon is involved. It's basically saying be careful and make sure you're not overreacting to something that doesn't need an overreaction, because that takes up way more energy than you need to be using on this particular issue. I mean, you got other things to do, right? The moon's sextile with Mars is also very helpful because it brings that support system in there. This is a bit more of aggressive support now, but basically saying you're not on your own in this. No matter what you think you are, you're never on your own in this particular situation. And the moon's trine with Saturn is also very important in the whole grand scheme of things, because Saturn is focused on those you love. It's retrograde. It's showing you what is your responsibility and what isn't your responsibility. And most of the time, I look at that house being the house of children, or it's also known as the house of children. I think these days, we parents get very confused about what is our responsibility to our children and what is not our responsibility to our children. And that is actually a thing that we really need to look at. Every single one of us who are raising other human beings should be looking at that. Over sheltering your kids is not good for them. Okay, it just creates angry kids who can't seem to function in society. Not sheltering your kids at all is also not good for them. Doing everything for them, not good for them. Doing nothing for them, not good for them. Basically, the bottom line is that we're always either doing too much or not enough. right? And we do too much because we're worried that we're doing not enough. And even when we're doing too much, it's still not enough. I don't know about you, but I'm already exhausted. Okay. Let's just take it down like several notches here. Okay. Love your kids. Help your children. But you don't have to do everything for your children. They're not going to be screwed up if you don't do everything for them. Take some of that pressure off of yourself. Take some of that responsibility off yourself, especially if you have adult children. I struggle with this. I have adult children and I'm their mother. And this is a really hard lesson for me. But I have told, I don't know how many different clients before in the past, your kids are adults. They got to be able to take care of themselves, right? Otherwise, you're not doing them any favors. What happens when you're gone? You see where I'm going with this? Yeah, there could be a whole lot of going on in here too, just so you know. Finally, when we get into Thursday, we're ending out our time with the moon. God, it feels like he's been there forever, doesn't it? And his grand sextile with Neptune and Pluto is actually really, really helpful because, of course, we have another T-square. We have another giant challenge. So let's look at the positive first before we look at the other giant challenge, which literally we're talking hours. Okay. We're literally talking hours on this one day, not the whole entire week, not the whole month, just literally hours. The moon working with Pluto and Neptune. Neptune is focused on your day-to-day schedule. Pluto is focused on the home. We've got the moon focused on the past. Think of all the different times that your responsibilities at home kept you from doing what you wanted to do, or doing all the things that you wanted to do in that day. And yet at the same time, think about what your responsibilities at home have done to free up time that you didn't realize that you had, because it took some of that stuff off of your schedule. Everything can be looked at in a different perception in order to be able to use that situation in a positive way, rather than chalk it up to another pebble in that pile of pebbles that is creating this obstacle for me, which is what we as human beings would tend to lean towards. Now, one last T-square as the moon moves into opposition with Uranus and squared with Venus and Neptune, which are in conjunction with each other, Venus and Mercury, which are in conjunction with each other. I'm so sorry. Pausing for just one more second. Venus and Mercury focused on your support system, the moon focused on the past, and then of course we have Saturn, which is focused on those we love. And those are, I'm sorry. Taking that back a step, it's Uranus, which is focused on finances. Now, any kind of financial challenges are unpleasant. We don't want to deal with them. We don't like to deal with them. It would be much smoother if we didn't have to deal with them. But they're all part of the lesson in life, really, because it is a very important thing in our lives. And living without money just does suck. Trust me on that. It really does. And I'm a minimalist. Okay. It still sucks so bad. And this can create some, when you have these types of challenges, or if you're having issues trying to create specific financial goals and you're not getting the support that you need from the right sources, two things. One, look back to the past. Don't deal with this situation in the same way you dealt with it before, because obviously it's probably not going to work. We're looking for a new solution. So maybe instead of looking to your spouse, for example, to support you in trying to come up with new ways of dealing with your financial challenges, for example, if they can't help you, you don't stop there. Well, I can't fix this because my husband doesn't know, or my wife doesn't know. You go to a professional. You go to somebody else. You go to somebody who does know. You don't stop with the one person, is what I'm saying. You keep on going until you find somebody that can help you. And that's really what this challenge is all about. Scorpio is one of the fixed signs. So fixed signs tend to not be very motivated to get things done. And our biggest lesson is what? Motivating ourselves to get things done. Because if we don't do that, nothing gets done, right? Once we get out of the moon being in your sign, things are calm again. You have your zen again. Focus continues to be on the past. In some cases, that can be a little bit annoying. In some cases, not so much. It really just depends on where your mind is at the time when you're focusing on the past. Just make sure that you're doing it productively and not getting sucked into one of those emotional tornadoes, because, that could take a minute to get back out of that tornado. So that is what I have for you guys this week. And I know that as much as there are quite a few challenges, I mean, it's really like for you guys, everything has changed. For 3 whole days, it's all different stuff, right? And that can be a little difficult to keep up with. But I know you guys can do it because you guys just kick so much ass. It's not even funny. I love my Scorpios. Almost every single Scorpio I've ever known. Just totally love you guys. There is those couple that, are just like, can't do, you know what I mean? But for the most part, I do love my Scorpios. You guys are pretty amazing people. And when you set your mind to figure it out, damn it, you figure it out. So that's what I have for you guys this week. If you love your horoscopes, do click the link in the description and send me a copy. I would love it. And I will see you guys next week. Make it a great week, everybody.